Jabba the Hutt didn't rise out of nowhere, because his father, Zorba, lived a far stranger and more chaotic life than many fans realise. By the end of this, you'll understand who Zorba the Hutt really was, why he failed where Jabba succeeded, and how he almost rewrote the fate of Leia, a Hutt who never fit in. Zorba was born around 1000 BBY on Nal Hutta, and from the start he stood out in a way Hutts usually don't, because of a rare recessive trait. Zorba had long white dreadlocked hair and a massive braided beard, which made him something of a genetic anomaly among Hutts. Hutts value tradition, domination and continuity, and Zorba's appearance marked him as an outsider long before he failed as a leader. This wasn't a fringe clan either. The Desilijic had once been among the most influential criminal families in Hutt space, and Zorba eventually rose to lead it around 600 BBY. Power without competence. Zorba ruled the Desilijic clan with absolute authority, but authority didn't translate into skill. He was ambitious, daring, and utterly convinced of his own brilliance, which made him reckless in the eyes of other Hutts, especially his brother Desilijic. Zorba chased grand schemes constantly, and every one of them failed. Each failure drained the clan's coffers further, accelerating Desilijic's decline instead of reversing it. What's fascinating is that despite being widely unpopular, Zorba held on to his power through fear and domination. No one liked him, but no one could remove him either. The one lesson Zorba got right. Zorba had multiple sons, but Jabba stood apart almost immediately. Where Zorba stumbled, Jabba thrived. Zorba personally trained Jabba in tools of the Hutt trade, how to manipulate smugglers, how to double-cross allies, how to control slaves, and how to crush enemies without mercy. Those lessons stuck. Jabba went on to form his own criminal organisation at an unusually young age, operating with an efficiency Zorba never achieved. And while father and son were not close, Zorba understood a simple truth. Jabba was everything the Desilijic clan needed, and everything Zorba was not. The arrest that didn't break him. By the end of the Separatist crisis, Zorba was over 900 years old, exhausted by leadership and ready for one last scheme. He took his ship, the Zorba Express, to the backwater planet Kip to mine valuable Ulicuo gemstones. What Zorba didn't realise was that mining them was illegal. He was arrested, tried under local law, and sentenced to 45 years in the Grigigard subsurface correctional facility. To the Galactic Republic, this was a major victory. To Zorba, it was barely an inconvenience. 45 years is nothing in the life of a Hutt, and he knew something the Galactic Republic didn't. His imprisonment would allow Jabba to absorb his holdings, grow stronger, and eventually be forced by Hutt law to sell everything back to Zorba at cost. He viewed prison as a vacation, with Jabba setting up his retirement. Jabba dies and Zorba returns. In 4 ABY, Jabba the Hutt was killed by Leia Organa. Zorba never heard the news. Less than a year later, pirates overran Kip and freed the prisoners. Zorba walked back onto his ship, recovered his hidden gemstones, and set course for Tatooine, fully expecting to reclaim his son's empire. Instead, he arrived at Jabba's palace and learned the truth. Jabba was dead. This made Leia Organa a prime target for a former Hutt leader, not a place a senator of the New Republic would want to be. Leia, the Sarlacc, and Zorba's revenge. Zorba swore vengeance on Leia Organa and hired bounty hunters to reclaim Jabba's holdings, using what he claimed was Jabba's true will. Zorba manoeuvred his way into controlling Cloud City after cheating Lando Calrissian in a rigged sabacc game, using cards marked with light visible to Hutts but not humans. From there, Zorba's focus narrowed. Leia survived Jabba. Zorba would make sure she didn't survive him. Zorba led a ragtag fleet of bounty hunter vessels in an attack on the Imperial factory barge on Bespin, where Leia was being kept. The ships made light work of the barge, destroying it within several minutes. Satisfied that Organa was dead and Jabba was avenged, Zorba returned to Cloud City. Of course, Leia survived, but Zorba eventually ended up capturing her again, and personally decided that she would be fed to the same Sarlacc where Jabba had died. If not for Imperial interference and rivals turning on each other, Leia Organa would have been executed by Jabba the Hutt's father. The Sarlacc that failed. Zorba's story doesn't end in triumph. Betrayed by Imperial Grand Moffs, Zorba himself was thrown into the Sarlacc pit. The combination of the Hutt's bulk and protective mucus coating gave the Sarlacc a fit of indigestion. The Sarlacc vomited Zorba into the desert night. He wandered for days and eventually returned to crime like nothing had happened. He would briefly reclaim Desilijic leadership, lose it again when Jabba's will was declared a forgery, and fade into obscurity. Rumours of his death spread, and no verified sightings followed. Why Zorba Matters. Zorba's existence reframes the entire Jabba era. Jabba rose in the shadow of a father who ruled through fear, failed through arrogance, and survived almost everything the galaxy threw at him. If Disney continues to rework Legends material, would you like to see a character like Zorba fit into the Filoni-verse timeline on Tatooine, possibly rivaling Boba Fett for power? If you enjoyed this video, hit subscribe and let's uncover the galaxy's greatest secrets together. Thanks for watching.